on the latest news, and then we can jump in. Meanwhile, we could actually quickly hover over the bans and picks Gamers2 had and Alliance had before. So that is the second matchup. We had the Vox and the Rona ban, and then we had here in the first matchup a Scarf and a Catherine ban. Now, without bans, directly, as it seems, we fixed our issue, jumping into the picking phase, this time hopefully without a breakup. We do have already in a lock-in, and that is a Vox, so Tasty Bacon totally right on that point, and in Adagio and Arden, excuse me, for Team Alliance, and then a full lock-in for Radix on Celeste, and Dark Potato playing the Rona.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting, but it is a Rona. We do have double Ronas. Not sure who mentioned that before. And then we do have Catherine to sum all of this up.
Yeah, both.
But not a double Vox, so.
Yeah, both teams feeling pretty comfortable. I didn't see double Vox coming in here since Radix is super comfortable with either Celeste or Scarf. So definitely here what we were supposed to see, double Rona and then Evan going for the Vox. Super strong with that hero. Radix staying for Celeste, and then we have Dingo being on Catherine and Magic Alex on Arden. So let's jump into the fold. 30 seconds into the match, and yeah, no double Iron Guard contract for now. So Alliance here going a different way, being a look at me now and not the supportive Rona as we have seen it before from Alliance, but this time of course here the carry, jungle carry, and Alex Magic with Arden trying to lock down and keep the enemy busy as usual.
Yeah, I am still a little bit surprised that neither team opted for the Krull. They both did so well with that hero in the previous two games, but they ended up deciding to take the Rona over. I'm not surprised by Rona being picked. I really thought that one of them would stick with the Krull. However, they both opted away from it, which is honestly almost a little bit more surprising to me that Alliance didn't go for the Rona Krull jungle matchup again, because that worked wonders for them in the first game. But here they come looking for a fight in the bottom, but in the jungle,
wow,
it's actually going to be Radix getting the solo kill. That is not something we saw in game one from that very same matchup. So great job by Radix picking up his game and getting that kill.
Yeah, both Ronas here being super aggressive, fighting on each other, and looks like Dark Potato might bite the dust, and he does. So it is a one-on-one trade here at the moment. And same time, Radix low on health being picked up from Eva. He was going super aggressive into the enemy jungle as far as I watched the minimap, but in the end, Eva here with the right idea.
Yeah, the big difference in that 2v2 was the fact that it was an Arden versus the Celeste for the two protectors. Arden just significantly stronger in the early skirmishes than what Celeste can provide. Or Catherine, sorry. I'm doing it again. I said I would at the start, and at least I'm honest. But they are going to be, because of the Arden, were able to win that fight. Catherine did have to kind of back away from it early on and didn't have too much to provide, while Arden was just constantly helping to fight. So early advantage going over to the side of Alliance, but that one-on-one kill in the lane has to be something to keep an eye on, because if Radix can continue doing that, then that's going to really help Gamers2 push their way into the later games.
Okay, double crystal bit on Radix, as we've seen more and more. So let's compare the Rona. I think that's much more interesting. Look at me, it's on a Swift Shooter and the O card. Dark Potato, Swift Shooter, not an O card, but a Kinect Shield and Armor. So more defense, but less HP. And there is an X scrimmage going on. Look at me, low HP. So is Radix. They are jumping directly on Radix since he's the main carry. And now everyone is slowed here from Rona. Dingo falling to Avant. He is low as well. Might be a one-on-one trade. The auto attack coming on. Look at me, but there is the shield. Well played here from Alliance, and that skirmish taking a 1-0 trade to their favor.
Yeah, it's very unusual for me to see Gamers2 playing with this Catherine because of the fact that they like these early skirmishes so much. They're constantly looking for fights.
Yeah.
But until you get later in the game, generally around level 6, Catherine just doesn't bring a whole lot to a straight up 2-on-2 or 3-on-3 fight. I mean, yeah, the stun is great, but it's just not enough. You know, she lands that stun and then just doesn't do anything because there's no reason for the enemy team to focus her. So that's why we're seeing in these even trades, Alliance is the one coming out on top so far.
So the winner of that match is going to the finals, ladies and gentlemen, and facing either Red Chimera or Angry Pandas. We will know about that later on in the next matchup, which is of the named teams here played right
Both
after.
of these teams just 4 wins away from a ticket to South Korea. So it's obviously just winning this one, and then 3 wins in the finals will get you there. So much on the line that I'm expecting another big slowdown here from Gamers2. Although all 3 of them gonna get hit by that scout trap. But thankfully for them, nobody was in position to follow up on it. But great amounts of vision being put down really by both teams here. Wanting to be able to spot out any potential invades, seeing the movements in general, just wanting to know where the enemies are at all times. As the gold is still very, very close, only a 300 gold lead at the moment for Alliance. And we're already seeing that kind of the slowdown as Gamers2 mostly sticking to their own jungle at this point, not wanting to continue going for these losing fights. I think we're gonna see this pretty much continue until Dingo is able to get up to level 6. Really the only fights are going to be ones that are forced by Alliance here. Doing a good job clearing out these scout traps, but now we could be having that 3-on-3 fight as Alliance is definitely looking for a catch here in the right side of the map, but they're not going to get the pick that they were looking for, as Celeste was able to get around to back to the turret, and now we have just some trading going on before everyone backs off to safety.
Alright, so talking about percentages from the betting pool, the third round, we have at the moment Alliance having 64.9% and Gamers2 35.1%, so the crowd favorite at the moment, Alliance, and Gamers2 here kind of the underdog at the moment.
Have to see again. The big thing is going to be this lane matchup as they're going in onto Redix again, but there's no CC this time from the side of Alliance. The only hard stun that they have is going to be the gauntlet being dropped from Arden, and we've seen just how easy it is for these top teams to use a reflex block to just walk right through that. So really Celeste gonna have a pretty safe time in the lane for the most part because of that fact. And now Gamers2, Dingo still only level 4, so they can't really look for a fight, but they do have Alex Magic already at 50% health, so they could go for this one. They're gonna stun Alex Magic. He's going to get dropped, and this is a very good fight for Gamers2. Rona using that red mist, having to jump out from Alliance, but now suddenly turning it back on, and just like that, Redix is down. They grouped up too close, and it was, look at me, just seeing the opportunity. However, Evant does now fall. Dark Potato going to be chasing down Rona, jumping over the scout trap to keep chasing. Look at me, there's a great stun from Dingo, and it's going to be, look at me, jumping over the wall. They're going to pincer him in, though. This should be a kill, but there's another shield from the Rona. Look at me, just stalling this for so long. Going to get the red mist, but it won't be enough. Dark Potato picking up that kill.
Well played here from both teams, and that situation also, look at me, big credits here for keeping Gamers2 super busy.
Goldmine is of course full as we are over 8 minutes into the game and he hasn't been touched yet. So that'll be a big point of contention for each of these teams going forward for the next couple of seconds. You see right now Gamers2 putting most of the members in that area, not exactly looking to start a fight there, but at least being prepared in case one does break out. Dingo has hit level 6 while Alex Magic is still level 5. And if they can get vision on Alex, I think they're going to go for a fight because they know that they have the advantage. There they go in. A big silence coming out from Dingo. They are going to get Evolve very, very low, but he's still on the backside. Alex Magic will fall, but such low health bars as the resonance shots and the red mist do work. And it ends up being a 2-for-2 traded at the end. Redix and Look at Me both alive. The ultimate doesn't quite get the kill, though. So they are going to be able to walk away, get to the bush of safety, but wait, is he going to look for it? It's going to be a very surprising move from Look at Me, trying to come in and get enough lifesteal to survive, but in the end, Redix gets the kill and will get this turret as well.
Well played, and now Alex Magic, of course, aiming for Redix, at least trying to push him back, but that didn't work out. The turret is destroyed. Gamers2 showing off a better game than the first 5 minutes here after minute 10. Looking pretty good since the focus and the team fights are going much to their favor. I think definitely important to mention Dingo, that guy with the super important silence, almost hitting here like 2 or 3 enemies in time, providing the team fight to their favor. And there comes Dark Potato going in, forcing the enemy to split. They are going further than that. Now everyone is slow. There comes Redix with the ultimate that doesn't hit as good as it should be. So better back off since Redix is out of energy. I would face here another fight. Dark Potato has another plan. I don't know why, I don't know how, but that should be an overstay from Gamers2. Evan is falling in the end, firing out their wait for it in the last seconds, dealing no damage at all. And Look at Me revealed from the auto attack by Redix. And now the game begins one more.
Yeah, this is going to be the gold mine getting taken back here. This doing some damage to Dingo, but not enough. They pick up the 300 gold. Gamers2 looking to pull ahead now. 3,000 gold in their favor. They were also able to hunt down Look at Me. Redix was in their jungle. So all of a sudden, Gamers2 turning this game heavily in their favor. Will they be able to keep it up, though, as these fights are incredibly close? A lot of it's coming down, in the end, to slight positioning errors, in my opinion. But they're such a tanky team. Rona is so difficult to kill on both sides, really. But a Shiver Steel on both Ronas, as well as a Kinetic Shield and Light Shield for Dark Potato, and a Coat of Plates on both of them, now starting to bring some damage. Gamers2 just looking for some aggressive plays in the Alliance jungle. They have that turret down as well, so they do have a bit of the map control, especially with also having the vision from the gold miner. They can play a little bit more aggressively, and now because of the fact that they have a level advantage as well, 1 level ahead on both the laner and the support, they are going to be able to start maybe looking for fights and trying to be a bit more aggressive. They've been doing a fantastic job of jumping on Evolve and taking him down before he can have too much effectiveness. He is 4-4-1, but you know, he's died 4 times, whereas you look at the Celeste only having 2 deaths. So just a much better job of by Gamers2 to get the pressure onto the squishy carry of Alliance.
Yeah, at the moment looks really solid for Gamers2, but I think Alliance, of course, is much aware of the fact of the pressure, and they definitely have to find here a formula that works against the so-called stall force from Gamers2, which worked out pretty well in the last game, together with the Kraken and the not taken minion mines at all. Dingo facing all 3, or at least providing some vision on them. Not more than that, since look at that, they are staying so close together. All 3 going back to the base. much aware of the fact that they can get caught anytime.
Yeah, this is looking pretty precarious for Alliance right now. They have to play so defensively, and as we know, when you have to play that much defense, it does start to make that gold lead stack up. The gauntlet is going to go down. Dingo will walk towards the wall. Redix does get stunned by it as well, but towards the end, Dingo is the one getting low, but a huge solar storm coming out, and they do end up trading 1 for 1 at the end of the day, but it is a Rona for a Catherine. I think that's a trade that Gamers2 will take anytime.
Yeah, good trade here, 1 for 1. Dingo is down, that's fine, but worse, look at me, the enemy Rona. So that gives them a bit of chance here to clear the jungle once more. And if we take a look at the overview here from the map, of course, look at the scout traps. Everywhere provided. No chance at all here for Alliance to leave it without getting spotted.
They're gonna be moving in the Kraken, of course, now being spawned onto the map. It looks like Look at Me and Alliance want to find a fight. They're gonna find Dingo taking a ton of damage and instantly taking him down. What a great pick there by Alliance. The wait for it comes through as well, but there's a huge amount of damage. Solar Storm is still being held as they are out of energy, but now with the energy back for that, I'm not sure why Redix isn't just throwing this ultimate down onto Avant, having this confidence in Dark Potato picking up that kill as he does do so, and now they can maybe make a push onto this turret with both Redix and Dark Potato, but that would have been an extremely risky call. So instead, Dark Potato just gonna clear out some of this jungle and deny the gold away from Alliance.
Yeah, I think that was a good follow-up from Dark Potato. Some others would say, well, no, it's a Vox, he might dash away, but Avant was just waiting behind the corner, going back to the base, at least had the plan, but then successfully catched here from Dark Potato, and that is what matters in the end. And look at the gold gap at the moment, 13 to 18,000. That is a gold difference of 5k after 16 minutes. Looking pretty solid at the moment, but we have seen that Alliance is able to get those catches, to get those picks, and here Redix is definitely in this catch position, and he will fall, no doubt about that. The question is how many ultimates they are using for him, 2 at a time. And there comes the silence from Dingo. He can't do anything. And I think that was not planned from Redix here. He should have seen them all in that spot.
Definitely a bit out of position there, but they're all of a sudden going to turn this around using that extra damage from the turret explosion, and they're going to pick up 2 kills. Gamers2 making plays happen. Dark Potato and Dingo going to try and get the stun onto Alex Magic, but a nice block there to prevent it. He does have quite a bit of health left, but they're going to continue chasing him down. I don't think he's going to be able to get away. That stun comes through, and now they will pick him up for the ace. This could mean Kraken, and it should mean at least a turret or 2, as they are going to easily pick up the Kraken. Nobody even alive to counter it. So they are going to get that monster on their side and look for a push. Great job of making the best of a bad situation. Redix getting, as you mentioned, completely caught out of position, but they're still able to turn it around. Dark Potato having a phenomenal game on this Rona.
Yeah, that looks really good, and he is doing a super strong job, dealing tons of damage. And Kraken is now on the way to push the second tower for Gamers2. I have no doubt that it's going to fall.
Yeah, that turret definitely going to go down. It's a question of how many more might fall, as they are going to push into this third turret in the lane. Look at Me going a little bit far forward, but this fight is going to come out. There's the gauntlet getting dropped, but everyone's inside of it. They don't care about leaving. That's 1 kill picked up. Alex Magic going to get so low, but pops the reflex block to stay alive. but the turret is down. Kraken still having about half health. They might be able to take a third turret off of this push as they are going to move in. There is no Rona to defend. Avant doing a lot of damage with this Vox though, but the turret is down. Kraken's still alive. I think that's going to be it though. They are going to back off. Kraken is going to go down, but 3 turrets picked up. That was a massive push.
So next up after this match, Angry Pandas versus Rat Chimera. That is the next semi-finals we will see. After the semi-finals we have the third place match, so the one team who is losing here, no way that you go anywhere. You still have chance to win big points for the live finals, and of course some nice cash as the third placed team.
Yeah, and not to mention a large amount of qualifier points being on the line in that third place game as well. So it's a big game, even though it will be only for third place. There's nothing to scoff at. There's a lot of scout traps can be cleared out here, but Gamers2 up 16-9. And again, that 5,000 gold lead at 20 minutes. It seems to be, again, third game in a row where it's been 5,000 at around 20 minutes. So we'll have to see if they can close this one out. It certainly looks like it as they go to pick up the minion mine here. Maybe just waiting for another Kraken spawn. But there's with only 1 turret left, I feel like they're gonna actually instead find a fight here. Gauntlet again, not the best, as it's going to keep everyone already inside of it. And a huge solar storm. That is Rona going down. Avant is going to be chased out here by Dark Potato and will be falling, or should be. There they go. They get the kill. They pick up the kill onto the Arden as well. That is the ace. That should be the game. They're not even going to worry about the minions, just pushing on in. Dingo and Redix should be able to take this turret down. It's going to be a little bit slow because of that defense buff, but they have plenty of time. And Gamers2 taking out another favorite and gonna be moving on to the finals, where they will be playing for their spot in the VIPL.
Wow, just wow, what a match here in the semi-finals. Gamers2 going to the finals, ladies and gentlemen. That is crazy here, being seeded somewhat 20 or so. And let's have a look. Yeah, 12, excuse me. That was such a good match, but we've seen Alliance having also very strong performance. But in the end, where it comes to the so-called third game, where everything is free, no limitations, no ban, no draft, pure skill matters. And here we have seen that Dark Potato is the better Rona compared to Look At Me, and the whole comp together with Celeste and Catherine worked out much better. But I think Alliance had the chance with this comp as well. The team fights and the picks from Gamers2 were much better organized, and I think yeah, that was taking the win in the end. Okay, so this is it. We can quickly go back to the studio and then prepare another semi-final match